is never stopping. It's knowing someone has your back. It's kusonga mbele no matter what. Just dial *234#. So you never have to let insufficient M-Pesa balance limit you.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile. And having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Miaka 20 safari ilianza ya kutuunganisha kama Wakenya. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Let's go beyond. Mimi na wewe tukibuni kazi nzuri ya kujivunia.
What brought us here was the need of Safaricom to outreach and expand their network to places where the community were lacking this kind of services. The tower is a 45-meter tower, so the community that is around this place is able to enjoy as far as 20 to 30 kilometers away from this particular base station. The main challenge was getting materials to site in good time. You have to drive all the way 25 kilometers on a rough road.
1 2 testing
Namanga
1
all the way
2
to where we could access materials is also quite a distance.
We work in an area called Ngulului, which is basically a community land. What we do basically is wildlife protection. We work with the community on a number of programs. In case of emergencies like sickness, we have taken over that as well. Previously, 3 bases were not covered by the signal, and so we've been having lapses because of communication. When the signal was worked on, and now we have a better
testing 1 2
we have not had any lapse.
1 2 testing testing 1 2
Span of less than an hour.
1 2
Every time
testing testing 1
Tulikuwa
2
tunapita sana, especially mahali inaitwa Ngurumausi, huko
Two,
hakuna
one, two.
network. Network ile
Speaking,
wanatumia
two, one.
ni Vodacom ya
1
Tanzania,
2
na sisi hapa hatuna
testing
line ya
testing
Vodacom.
1 2
Sasa tunapata ugumu
One,
sana
two,
kwanza wao
testing.
kupigia
Speaking the other
madaktari
one.
wapate
2,
usaidizi
testing,
ama kujua
testing.
kama madaktari wako inakuwa ni ngumu, lakini saa hii imekuwa afadhali juu hata ukipiga simu hata kama ni saa 8 ya usiku, saa hii network iko kila mahali na tunapatikana throughout 24 hours.
Right now, the number of people who are getting us are increasing. In a day, I can get more than 30 calls. Now,
So it's like anakuja akijua anaenda kuchukua mifugo kwa mahali fulani. Safaricom na hii community unaona ni kitu moja.
I'm sure now they feel much more a part of Kenya because that has always been the challenge. The first benefit is the cohesiveness it has brought to them. They are able to communicate with each other. It has brought down the cost of their communication. Instead of now having to use an outside signal, they can use their own Kenyan signal. They are now able to do their business using M-Pesa and minimize the risks that were associated with having to carry cash because there was no reliable signal with which to transact with. Those who go out, they're able to send back money, they're able to support paying school fees for them and things like that. So that's another area I believe has helped transform their lives there.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are preparing to start back our after break session, so we're inviting everyone to the room. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As we prepared for this after break session, just a few housekeeping matters. Again, we just want to remind everyone that the protocols are in full effect. So the respective social distancing, the wearing of masks, unless you're at the podium, or unless you're speaking on the stage. And we want to encourage persons to sanitize as often as possible. There's a sanitizer right there by the door so that you can do the necessary things to keep each other safe in this forum. Okay, well now what I want to do is introduce the various agencies, because we have to adjust our time. So the Export Barbados presentation, which would have been made by myself, I think I'll have ample time as the MC and to say what I want to say. So I remove myself from the program for today. And what we want to do is invite now to the stage Invest Barbados, Sandra Payne, Director of Research, Kenya Investment Authority, Dr. Moses Akiara, Managing Director. I'm getting my Swahili right, you know. Also, we want to invite to the stage as well, in our forum this afternoon, is the Barbados Private Sectors Association's Chairman, Tricia Tanis. Also, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KIPSAP, Mr. Jawinder Bidi, Vice Chair. So you can take your seat. Some of you may have presentations, some may speak with the mic just from sitting. And we're going to kick off shortly. And then followed, we will have Barbados National Oil Company, then followed by Safaricom. So those are the few adjustments that we've made so that we can make haste while the sun is shining. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for cooperating and allowing us to start this particular forum. We're still running late, but we'll try to catch up. So firstly, we're using the booklet, so instead of going into all the protocols at this point in time, we want to get straight into business. So you can use the booklet to catch up on the various agencies that are presenting here and the individuals. But just a quick notice, we have www.safarioceans.com. Right now it's being used as a peering app where you can go on www.safaricom.com and you can actually book your peering forum that you want to have, the B2B. And if you want to go and play golf, we have Sandy Lane booked for tomorrow. So if there's anyone and you want to have a B2B meeting on the golf course, you can do that. Or if you want to go on the possible catamaran cruise, there's one this afternoon as well at 2 o'clock. So we need persons for that one as well. So those who want to volunteer to go on that cruise as well for B2B meetings. You can do so, but the app allows you to pair. And Minister, what we'll be doing with this app is that we'll be leaving it in place and we'll be transforming it into a full website that allows Kenya and Barbados to do business together on that website and share ideas, connect with each other, do joint advertising with each other and stuff like that. So let's press in to our presentations this afternoon. So firstly, I just want to introduce Sandra Payne, who's representing Invest Barbados. So I want to just welcome Sandra Payne to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO Hill, ministers, excellencies, governors, distinguished members of the delegation from the Republic of Kenya, fellow presenters, ladies and gentlemen, still good morning to you. It is my pleasure to be part of this forum and to share with you, on behalf of our CEO, Ms. Kay Ann Brathwaite, the investment opportunities that are available in Barbados and how the team at Invest Barbados assists investors who are seeking to establish businesses on our island. So as I wait for the signal, CEO Brathwaite, she's currently off island and sends her regrets for not being able to join with us today. And she extends her best wishes for a fruitful outcome. So I'm going to get started. I believe it would be prudent that I, from the outset, invite all of you gathered here to consider Barbados as a place to live, to work, to play, to invest, and to grow your business. I believe that some of you might have enjoyed a sneak preview of our island yesterday, and let me assure you that a warm and welcoming investment climate awaits you. The question can be asked, why Barbados? Why Kenya? Why this forum? We believe that it is an important forum. We believe that it is a timely forum. Today, indeed, represents an opportunity for several things, and the opportunities are exciting. We think that there is a literally open window to build on our bilateral relations, to deepen the trade between our respective nations, to reflect on synergies, as well as to explore and to cement new and mutually beneficial and sustainable partnerships. Already, our countries share much in common, and we've heard a bit about that earlier. For example, like Kenya, Barbados is a business hub, particularly to the Eastern Caribbean region. But more than that, when we look from the African continent, we are the first Western landfall, and this geographic location uniquely positions us as a premier gateway to the Americas, North America, South America, Latin America, as well as the Caribbean region. Barbados's geographic advantage is complemented by several other features, including our more recent strategic positioning by our Prime Minister, where the nation's focus and imperative has been on forging stronger ties with existing partners in the Americas and in Europe, while building bridges with other non-traditional partners. But what does this mean for a potential investor? It is a clear signal that Barbados means business, and Barbados is very much open for business. Our conversations over the next 2 days will help us to better understand your needs while affording you the opportunity to assess firsthand Barbados's global investment strategy. It is a strategy that embraces targeting investment from non-traditional markets, including Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. And as I speak, my colleagues from Invest Barbados and some other partners, other partner agencies within government are taking part in Expo 2020 Dubai, an international expo, at which both Barbados and Kenya and some 189 other countries are showcasing their unique selling points. As such, in our discussions today and equally at the expo, as we connect with each other, we all seek those additional nuggets that are to be unearthed as we gain an even better appreciation of the possibilities that exist across the waters and within our borders. We are all seeking innovative ways to define this post-pandemic era, whether at the macro level or the micro level. We are seeking ways to enhance lives and livelihoods by focusing on prosperity for all. For small nation developing states like Barbados, the attraction of foreign direct investment is one of the ways in which we seek to boost economic activity, thereby enhancing prosperity for all. Several international investors have chosen Barbados as their preferred domicile. And please know that in choosing Barbados, this means that you will be joining an expanding roster of global entities on the island. Indeed, several investors and international agencies chose Barbados as a hub for their operations in the Caribbean and as a gateway to the Americas. One of the elements that investors cite as part of Barbados's competitive advantage, and by extension, a key rationale for choosing Barbados, is our expanding network of double taxation treaties and double taxation and investment treaties. This network of agreements addresses several investment protection, double taxation, and economic cooperation matters. Presently, Barbados's network includes 40 double taxation treaties and 9 bilateral investment treaties. These combine with a well-regulated and pro-business government, an excellent infrastructure, and a competitive tax regime to present a compelling value proposition. Recently, the Global Financial Centers Index ranked Barbados second for competitiveness among Latin American and Caribbean countries. The ranking was based on the business environment, human capital, infrastructure, financial sector development, and reputation. I share this achievement to note that we have built and maintained a solid foundation for you, underpinned by transparency and compliance, supported by a talented and highly educated workforce. I should also remind that choosing Barbados does bring the added benefit of enjoying an excellent quality of life while working here. Barbados is renowned as a premier tourism destination with world-class accommodation. Families who move to Barbados often praise the quality of education available, the safety that they feel to live and move around the island, the idyllic year-round weather, and various recreational activities available, from beaches to World Heritage sites, to polo and sailing, fishing or car racing, festivals and culinary delights. In fact, one of the truly unique characteristics of Barbados is that it offers the opportunity to wake up steps away from a world-class beach, go to work a few hours later, play a round of golf, or take in a hike, all in one day with effortless ease. I believe this diversity of experience is part of the reason why our welcome stamp, introduced last year, became very popular. As an innovative response to the pandemic, Barbados was the first in the world to issue an invitation to visitors, especially digital nomads, to live and work for up to a year in paradise. Aptly dubbed the Barbados Welcome Stamp, the novel 12-month visa also gained approval from the international business community, a clear signal that Barbados's appeal is strong for individuals and businesses alike. Barbados remains committed to a framework which is responsive to market demands. Investors can expect to find new products and service levels as we enhance the ease and speed as well as the efficiency with which business can be done on island. To this end, several processes are in train and digitization is helping to drive this process. Allow me to highlight some of our existing investment opportunities, from traditional to emerging. Barbados and Kenya, as we have heard earlier, have clearly articulated renewable energy goals, and we have a shared desire to protect our natural resources. With respect to renewable energy, by 2030, Barbados's intention is to be generating 100% of its energy from alternative or renewable sources. So this is one of our sectors that is buzzing, and you are invited to become involved in our collective futures. Committed to the diversification of our economy, we have been promoting several opportunities globally. These include areas such as financial services, insurance, wealth management, information communication technology, niche manufacturing, among others. Most of these sectors have generally withstood the shocks of the pandemic, and some have registered increased demand. Agriculture is also a sector that has experienced substantive growth recently. And as such, investment opportunities in this area are ripe for the picking in areas like high-tech food production, agro-processing, as well as farming geared towards local and regional food security. Note also that we are keen to attract more investment in knowledge-based and high-value niche sectors, such as medical tourism and global education. Medical cannabis is another area of opportunity. And if you wish to embrace Barbados as your second home, and we invite you to do so, whether for personal reasons or for business reasons, be assured that no restrictions exist on the ownership of commercial or residential estate. This therefore represents a further opportunity for you to consider. What I've shared is but a sampling of what Barbados has to offer. Barbados welcomes foreign direct investment. In particular, the team at Invest Barbados seeks to secure FDI that is sustainable, that is feasible, and ecologically sound. We welcome businesses of substance. Are you looking for a safe and thriving domicile? Are you seeking to enhance your global competitive advantage? while increasing access to new markets, particularly in the Western Hemisphere? If you are, then let us continue to engage. Give us the opportunity to share some more personal insights from the point of your initial interest to the decision to invest and then to growth. Simply put, let us talk from idea to enterprise. The Invest Barbados team will assist in making it as seamless as possible for you to establish and expand in Barbados. Barbados is on an exciting journey. Again, you're invited. Just another snippet. You're invited. Let's work together. Let's grow together. Let Barbados work for you. I hope that your interest has been at least piqued and that we can build on mutually beneficial partnerships. Let's talk. Let's stay connected. Let's welcome you and your investment to Barbados again and again. I thank you, and may your time in Barbados be both enjoyable and productive.
Ministers present, principal secretaries, ambassadors, other officials in government of both Kenya and Barbados, captains of industry, colleague panelists, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm very happy to be in Barbados for the first time. I think my team is the same. Looking at what you've been talking about, everyone is very happy. And so, Sandra, we are very happy to be in your highlight here. It's fantastic. So I don't know if I have my slides, whether it's available now. But I'm going to cover very quickly about 4 areas. Number one is Kenyatta grants. And yes, the slide is there. So as you've heard, we are an economy which is about $100 billion now. If it wasn't for last year, the COVID would have been about 110, considering the annual rate of growth over the last 15, 20 years. Very strong democracy. All the rating agencies agree we are a stable economy. As you heard, it's very diversified. So at least we are insured against some shocks because the economy is diversified. Per capita income is about close to $2,000, but we want to get to 3,000 and more. And in terms of population, 50 million people growing at about 2.2% every year. 35% of our population, 70%, 75 actually, are below 35 years of age. Very young, highly educated, the highest literacy rate you can get on the continent, and the greatest users of internet and mobile phones. So these are very well educated with modern tastes and preferences, and really they are promising double dividend, demographic dividend for us. Yeah, why Kenya? Many reasons, and I'll be very quick because I have, first of course is the economy. It's big, it's stable, it's diversified. The percentage of the population which is middle class is rated to be the highest in the continent, from the African Development Bank. So that's where the purchasing power is. So it's that gives you the key economic fundamentals why I think you should consider investing in Kenya. Second is our people. And many people say, if you are looking for hardworking people, most talented, people who will not, once you give them a salary, they will not disappear and they come back when the salary is finished. They work with you throughout and very highly productive, very low attrition rate. That's what we offer you. So the people is something we are very, very proud of. But if you have even more productive staff, maybe from here and the region, and you want them to work in your factories, we have special economic zones that allow you to have up to 20% of your workers as expatriates, so that you can be able to, achieve the productivity rates that you think can be available out of Kenya. The other one is about the quality of business environment. Our government knows that besides offering business people the opportunities, the next thing is the quality of the business environment, and this is a key focus. There's a cabinet committee on ease of doing business. The president and his cabinet meets the private sector every quarter or so. They discuss what is not working. And so we have structures to be able to promise you that we are going to get better and better as we go forward. It's not surprising if you look at any indices, World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index, we moved from rank of 170 globally just in 2012. And by 2019, we have reached 56 globally. We are now, even though this tracking of this index seems to be discontinued, we are targeting to be among top 40 and the top 30 in the next results. But our focus on the reforms remains on the same momentum because we believe it's good for our economy. So any other indices, you look at them from World Economic Forum, Global Competitiveness Index, Mo Ibrahim Index on Governance, Logistics Index. On the continent, we are always among top 3. In many cases, the first. Let me say one, I think I should, because I think our governor has talked about it and I like it so much. For the last, I think, 5 or 6 years, Kenya has been #1 in the world in financial inclusion. Means the average Kenyan is more likely to be financially included than anybody else around the world because of mobile money innovation, and we are very, very proud of that. I think the other areas like our protection to minority investors, where again we have ranked #1. The other and getting access to credit is one of the very good areas. In terms, I think the slide that was just there was on the structure of our trade, who we are trading with, our exports. I think the key message we would like to say here is that our government is not promising you only 50 million people that we have, but it's negotiating preferential, as negotiated, and continues to do so, preferential arrangements, which are actually estimated to be now worth more than $30 trillion if you are to look at value, and very many people covered around the world. The trade between our two countries, as everybody has said, is very small. You can see in the bar graph, you can hardly see it. But I think the speakers earlier said we are planting coconut now, which will be enjoyed by those who will come later. So I think let's explore the various areas that you can clinch business, and I think the potential is big for this purpose. We then, there are many other comparing reasons that, as I indicated, why we should invest here in the country, and I would like to basically move quickly because the time is there. We can share this, but let me say your investment is secure. Kenya has signed up to the international instruments MIGA. We are a member of the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. We are also the headquarters of the African Trade Insurance Agency, so that if your the risk appetite is very, very low, you can take out an insurance policy for both commercial and non-commercial risks. So then the Constitution, the track record of our government just shows you that private property receives the highest attention and protection. So I think when you invest there, the risk of your investment is minimal. We have also a very, very rich business ecosystem. Our private sector is very organized with various business membership organizations and an alliance, Kenya Private Sector Alliance. You'll be hearing from just later on. And we have also multinationals from all over the world. We just chosen a few. If you are looking for top-level consulting units, you'll find the McKinsey's, you'll find Adam Smith, you'll find the Big Four. You'll also find very, very good Kenyan-owned consultancies. And if you're looking for partners to partner with you in your business, there are many companies there who have the capacity that you are looking for. So this ecosystem is one of the key things we think distinguishes us also in the continent. Like to now, we go to the investment opportunities. There are a couple of other reasons I didn't go to, but you can get this right, especially our harbor location, the livability of Nairobi and many of our towns, the ability to combine leisure and business, and because of the rich tourism opportunities. But I think you'll be able to see that in the slides later. In terms of the opportunities, we have again many, many opportunities. In our Kenya Vision 2030, which is our long-term plan, we have 8 economic sectors that have been selected carefully with a lot of analysis where you can invest, from agriculture to manufacturing to tourism, trade, both retail and wholesale, BPO, and ICT and BPO, adding value to our petroleum and minerals, the blue economy. But in addition to the 8 sectors, we have the foundational sectors: infrastructure, energy, green energy, and all. Technical services, we're looking for actually, to improve technical skills in our economy, because the demand is very high, and the related services are foundation. So all these areas give you a lot of opportunity. But in between now, for the immediate, there's a subset that the president and the government has picked out of the Vision 2030, called Big Four Agenda, focusing on 4 areas to bring quick results. Focus on you. Those who understand economics is that because resources are scarce, you have to concentrate them in a certain area so that you can achieve a greater result. And what you see there is our Big Four Agenda captioned in one slide: increasing manufacturing contribution to GDP to 25%, achieving 100% food security and nutrition achievement. Then in the affordable housing space, building at least 500,000 housing units, and in the healthcare, achieving universal healthcare in the next year or so, rather than waiting to 2030. Again, there are foundational sectors like infrastructure, again, energy, technical skills. All those are, again, opportunities that are there to support this. You can see, I think now I can go sector by sector, but because of the time, I won't go very far. I won't spend a lot of time. But in manufacturing, we are looking at textiles and garments. This is perhaps our number 1 focus, supported with agro-processing. We have many fruits, vegetables, we have coffee, we have tea, we have lots of different types of vegetables that we like to add value to, So that, and then the other areas are, electronics assembly. We would like also to build an integrated iron and steel industry and the related sectors. We can go to we have two very good schemes that make manufacturing very attractive. If you, for instance, if you want to manufacture something that you are importing from third countries into Barbados, you come and manufacture it there, enjoy our cheap labor, high quality labor. You can do it there and export here, and you enjoy the incentives and export processing zones, where you get for 10 years, you don't pay any corporate tax. You can import your equipment and raw materials and duty-free, VAT-free. When you make your money, you can take it out with no hassles, and you are also exempted from withholding tax. And there are many other advantages you get in EPCENT. That's our Rolls-Royce scheme. And the other one is special economic zone, where the only difference is while in EPCENT, you have to export at least 80% of what you manufacture to enjoy those incentives. In the SECENT, you can be able to basically sell more within East Africa Community Region, which is a customs territory, and still enjoy similar incentives. So you can see the incentives there. And the next one is a map showing you where the zones are. We have about 70 plus 10, about 80 or between 80 and 85 zones, some owned by the government, some by private sector. So you can be able to go in and get one, lease land, and start producing. You can also acquire land and set up a Barbados Special Economic Zone or EPCENT out there. You can get the licenses. I think the CS is there. She will be able to give you to fast track the licenses. This is affordable housing. I've talked about it's building the houses. If you have capital, you can come and lend to the sector. It's also most welcome. Building, manufacturing, construction materials, and the related are all opportunities in that space. In the affordable housing, also universal health care, the idea is to provide more health facilities, very innovative insurance or medical covers, so that we are able to cover everyone, and also doing pharmaceutical manufacturing. We are actually trying to popularize also medical tourism, where you can go maybe set up a special economic zone. You can grow your herbs there, you can manufacture them, you can build good facilities where people can be treated and recover because the weather is good. So come to us and we can give you more details on these opportunities. Well, maybe this is a sign that I should stop. Yeah. So in renewable energy, many opportunities. But right now, we can recommend those who want to do quick off-grid solutions, because I think we are generating a bit more than we are consuming at the moment as the industries are getting set up. So it is easier to get approval if you are doing an off-grid solution. Like you get an area without the grid solution and you do your power there. But there is also from distribution and the transmission space, there are a lot of opportunities. In tourism, or this blue economy, we have opportunities in maritime, opportunities in the fisheries sector, not only building the crafts, but also processing and doing related activities there. In tourism, this is why I said you can combine, leisure and the business. We are a country that gets only about 2 million in tourists every year, but our potential is at least 5 million. And if the 5 million was to come after the COVID crisis is over, you need accommodation facilities. You need also innovation in the range of tourism products that we are offering, activities to improve the length of stay, so that when a tourist comes, they are staying longer because of many things that they can do. Let me finish by saying what we can do for you. At Caninvest, the institution I'm heading, we are a government agency established purposely to take care of private investors. So that's what we do every day, morning to evening, Monday to Sunday, is taking care of private investors. We are in government, but a friend of private sector, and we do our very best to really serve you. We have a one-stop shop, so now you don't have to move from one part of the city to the other. You just come to a very good location in the corporate capital of Nairobi, in Upper Hill, 14th floor in our building, and you can get all the stuff. You can register a company there within a day, if not a few hours. You can also register with the tax agencies. You can start your environmental impact assessment process. You can apply for work permit. You can also, actually, anything you need, you are able to get it from there. So our promise is that when you come, and before I get to that, I'll finish with that, is just to say that we have also built digital platforms, like one we call e-regulations and e-opportunities. From our website, you can link there. You can get transparency. Any type of business you want to do, you probably find a procedure of doing that, what permits and licenses you require, how long it will take you. Sometimes we even put a face of the officer you are going to find when you go to look for those permits and how much you have to pay. The key thing is to challenge the narrative that if you go to Africa, doing business is opaque. You don't know where to start. You don't know what is required. That platform is to challenge that, and we have almost 200 procedures that have been profiled. The other one is on opportunities. You just need to register your opportunities. You'll find all the opportunities we have in the country by sector and by county. And you can actually express your interest in the platform. And we're building other platforms to make it easier. So as I conclude, is to say, our commitment at Can Invest, our motto is invest as king or a queen. And you know what you do when you are dealing with a king or queen? You roll out the red carpet, treat them well, and this is the promise we make. So if you are thinking to invest in Africa, make it Kenya. We'll be waiting for you to really take you through the journey. Even after you have invested, we'll give you an account manager who is going to be, you can contact every time you face any challenge. Thank you very much. As I said, we have enjoyed being here. We look forward to getting more of you investors from Barbados to Nairobi. And as our promise, as I've said, is to put up the carpet to really give you world-class service. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Good morning and hujambo. Good. Sounds like I got it right. Thank you so much to Invest Barbados and Kenya Invest for those very riveting presentations, and thank you. Good morning to all the distinguished business leaders, private and public, of both Barbados and Kenya, and all of our distinguished guests. Thank you for the introduction, and let me, on behalf of the Barbados Private Sector Association, welcome to our Barbados, our colleagues on mission here from Kenya. This is indeed a very special occasion for us in the effort to build meaningful bridges and connectivity with those from the continent from whence we came, and that is not said lightly. For our visitors' benefit, the Barbados Private Sector Association is the umbrella body of private sector associations in Barbados, representing and leading advocacy for private sector interests in respect of macroeconomic policy, trade, productivity, ease of doing business, as well as supporting and promoting good governance and accountability at the national level. The associations comprising our membership represent agriculture, global business, tourism and hospitality, manufacturing, small business, professional services, chartered accounting services, banking, and of course, business that is primarily the Chamber of Commerce and Employers representation as well in terms of industrial relations and human capital development. Given the sectors represented and given our mission and mandate, you will then appreciate that our focus is very much on the development and growth of the private sector, as well as to see a sustainable and thriving economy in Barbados. As a stakeholder highly engaged at the national level, the BPSA has a keen sense of the difficult and challenging times facing our economies, possibly the most challenging in modern times. We are very aware of the need for rebuilding and recovery strategies, even as we grapple with day-to-day issues, such as maintaining viable business modalities in the faces of such unprecedented challenges, specifically occasioned by the pandemic and the impact of climate change. However, rather than the myopic focus on the challenges occurring as a result of the pandemic, as previously mentioned, and all other intervening events, the private sector approach in Barbados has to pivot to turning challenges into opportunities as we seek to exploit our trade relations with Africa, more particularly today with Kenya, and we must do so with robustness and agility. Hesitancy and fear are certainly not precursors to successful business enterprise. In my immediately past role of President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, represented today by our colleague Anthony Branker and Misha Loban Clark, it was my good fortune to have the opportunity to start this process in connection with the BPSA head at that time, in the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding with our Kenyan counterparts in December 2019, in order to deepen and strengthen trade relations. And little did we know at that time what would have laid ahead for us in 2020. We are pleased that the groundwork has been completed by the Chamber and our Kenyan counterparts, and we're now pressing ahead with improved trade and relations between the two nations. Having now resumed engagement with Kenya, this time under my current aegis at the BPSA, it is my strong desire to see businesses take full advantage of the opportunities within this nation and boost the reputation of being one of the best performing economies in sub-Saharan Africa. Its position as a commercial hub for East Africa, with coastal ports that allow for imports to be received and transported to landlocked neighbors, should make us keen to explore new modalities for market entry to guide the global reach of Barbadian enterprise. The issue of capacity to supply should not be a deterrent. This is from the Barbados perspective. If we approach the concept of niche marketing with boldness and innovation, if we look at new models of how we may be presently doing business, joint ventures, or even franchise arrangements, and there are certainly also lessons to be learned from improved trade and investment, not only to Kenya, but to the rest of the world. And if we can engage with such a sophisticated market, has been outlined by our colleague from Kenya Invest, then we will certainly improve our confidence to engage other nations on the African continent and elsewhere. Key to this opportunity, though, would be the development of direct air and sea travel between the continent and the Caribbean. And as Dr. Orama of the African Exim Bank has stated, the Caribbean is the sixth African region, and I like that. The Caribbean is the sixth African region. And therefore, direct trade and travel routes are critical to fully exploiting this new relationship. I would go so far as to say that it's imperative that businesses in Barbados not only seek new avenues for expansion, but also must make an effort to be competitive to attract investors into our businesses and our shores as well. To be able to pursue such an assortment of opportunities is definitely a priority for all of us rather than to focus on the traditional markets. Kenya's diverse economy is certainly an inspiration in that regard and presents limitless opportunities for the Barbados market, therefore. Kenya's ease of doing business rankings and infrastructure is also an opportunity for Barbados to acclimatize and to emulate. The one-stop shop approach from business formation straight through to licenses and permits is a model that Barbados also needs to adopt fairly urgently. We certainly have to compliment those of you visiting from Kenya today and taking the time to travel to Barbados as part of its delegation at a time such as this signals your commitment and keenness to build on the relations forged at the time of signing the MOU, BPSA, BCCI, and KEPSA as part of the general thrust of the other MOUs signed in various areas of cooperation emanating from the 2019 visit. And so the BPSA appreciates the efforts of all involved in this and other sessions. I also take the time to acknowledge and commend the role of the government of Barbados in laying the platform for these valuable engagements. The fact that Barbados now has a diplomatic presence in Kenya is another strong signal of the intent to move beyond paper to action. The BPSA therefore supports this outreach to improve trade between Barbados and Kenya. Thank you so much for the opportunity to bring these brief remarks today, and we certainly look forward to the outcome and actions in the near term. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and it's a real pleasure to stand here in front of all of you. I've heard all the presentations this morning and mid-morning. I'm very, very pleased to say that it's actually very, very encouraging that in such a short span of time, in just over 2 years, when we last had a meeting in Nairobi on the 11th and 12th of December, 2019, that we've actually been able to come to Barbados and actually come and visit you, which we promised. Yes, we were supposed to have done this earlier on, but of course, because of the COVID challenges, we couldn't. I stand here today in front of you wearing two caps. One cap is the Vice Chair of the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, and the other cap is as Chairman of the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. And this actually tells you how committed Kenya is and how committed we are as government working with private sector and private sector working with government. And for that reason, I just want to give you a little brief on what KEPSA is doing, which you're already aware about. But KEPSA was formed in 2003 as the apex body in Kenya, bringing together local and foreign business associations, chambers of commerce, professional bodies, corporates, multinational companies, startups, micro and small, medium enterprises, in all sectors of the economy in Kenya. KEPSA represents over 1 million businesses under one umbrella to enable them to speak in one voice, engaging government with development partners and other stakeholders on cross-cutting policy issues affecting the private sector development. It also implements programs that ensures the growth of business and the social economic development of the country. KEPSA supports businesses with opportunities for training, networking, financial linkages, mentorships, coaching, access to markets, value chain and investment opportunities, while closely working with many partners from across the world. KEPSA serves as a federation of over 80 associations, business BMOs, business member organizations and professional bodies, and serves as the focal point of the East African Business Council, which is an apex body of all businesses in East Africa. Our mandate is very clear. We're the voice of the private sector in Kenya. Our vision is also very clear, to become a world-class private sector apex body with a mission to ensure year-on-year improvement in overall business environment in Kenya by working together with government and other stakeholders. Moses has already talked about our global ranking index, which has tremendously improved in the last 7 years since we have been starting to monitor this. And we have continued to do public-private dialogue with government in all spheres, with organizing the presidential roundtable, the ministerial stakeholder forums, speakers roundtable in Kenya, meetings with the Council of Governors Forum, the Chief Justice Forum, platforms with selected state agencies, and development partners roundtable. In addition, we also work aggressively within the region and with the regional forums. That includes the East African Community Treaty, the East African Legislative Assembly, the Northern Corridor Integrated Project, and the East African Council of Ministers. So that gives you a little overview on what KEPSA does as a private sector alliance. And if I now just speak on my other cap, which is the chair of the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, and just to give you a little overview of our exports, we export about $6 billion and import about $16 billion. Our trade imbalance is about $10 billion, of which last year it came down to about $8 billion, largely to do with COVID and the disruptions that supply chains had. But we intend to keep it that way, and we intend to continue expanding our export base and reducing our import reliance. And we've seen serious opportunity because of the pandemic, because of COVID, because of the disruptions that the global supply chains have had, that we see a lot of made in Kenya products that are managing and finding their way into international markets. We have very little presence here in Barbados. I think our export figures, it's actually measly. It's about $28,000 last year, and our import figures from Barbados was about $66,000. So the joint trade between the two countries is only $100,000. We see serious opportunity in this whole region, in the Caribbean islands and in the West Indies, and we see that we can actually expand, diversify our product offering and our product markets, because largely we do a lot of trade with Europe, which is our single largest market. We do a lot of trade in East Africa, and Africa, which is 60% of our market, and we do a lot of trade with the US, which is now the third largest market, and it's overtaken the Great Britain, which is now standing at number 4 in terms of market access. So we are hopeful that we will be able to set shop in this part of the world. We are here to use Barbados as the gateway of the region and for expanding our export base to the Americas, both North and South America, and of course the Central American region, where you are so placed so well for us. So I'm very happy that we're here today, and we're very happy that we're going to have a B2B this afternoon, and we're going to start talking real business. And without further ado, I'd like to end my presentation here, because there's a lot that we're going to talk about this afternoon, and I'm sure we can talk about the nuts and bolts and how do we grow this pie. But what I really like is the complementary skills that both of us have, the complementary cooperation that we've got. And if you look at this book, it just tells you Safari meaning Kenya, Oceans meaning Barbados, and that also is complementary. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay, let's put your hands together for that panel. Fantastic presentations showing us the opportunities and some of the challenges that the various economies are facing. We want to thank each and every person for the insights into what each country has to offer, both on the investment side and what the private sector is doing in each context, okay? So we're just trying to press ahead with our time, trying to catch up as we head towards lunch break. So what we want to do now is introduce another panel, and that panel will be made up of Barbados National Oil Company. Yeah, so just put your hands together for the commercial manager, Wesley Carter, as he makes his way to the stage. Also, we are inviting Safaricom, one of Africa's biggest telecommunication companies, Mr. Situyo, the managing director. He can join us on the stage as well. And also we have Kurawa Limited, Cynthia Maru. I got it right, Cynthia? Good, 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 good. And she's the CEO, so we just want to invite her to the stage as well. And then after that, we'll be having a joint event, a signing between the Barbados Chambers of Commerce and the Kenya Chambers of Commerce, and also Barbados Manufacturers Association and the Kenya's Manufacturers Association will be joining them on the stage, and that should get us to lunch. So thank you very much. They can make their way to the stage.
Good afternoon, CEO Mark Hill, our delegation from Kenya, fellow presenters, and other invited guests. I am Wesley Carter from the Barbados National Oil Company, and I intend to do a small presentation here, talking a bit about our company, what's it about, and also leaving some room for possible collaboration with our delegation from Kenya. All right. Okay, firstly, where did it all start? Just a quick overview of the group of companies. The Barbados National Oil Company Limited originated back in 1982 as an oil and gas company operating under a mineral lease agreement issued by the government of Barbados, and its purpose was to economically engage in the production, exploration and production of hydrocarbons. Then later, the company was given the mandate to source competitively refined petroleum products. BNOCL, that's the acronym for Barbados National Oil Company, also wholesales its indigenous gas to the National Petroleum Corporation of Barbados for distribution to customers domestically. And we also operate an LNG, liquefied natural gas, regasification plant, whereby we import liquefied natural gas in ISO containers and regasify the liquid into its gaseous state, back into a gas, to supplement the local demand output. Now, back in 2010, the Barbados National Oil Company created a renewable energy department, started out engaging in research and development. To date, the company has collectively designed about 5 megawatts of projects in the PV space, and we have another 5 megawatts in the pipeline, and we have bigger things to come. In terms of our structure, the group comprises 3 wholly owned subsidiaries, namely the Barbados National Oil Company Services, and that is a company engaged in the upstream in the exploration and production. We also have the BNTCL, Barbados National Terminal Company Limited, which primary role is in storage and distribution of products. We also have the Barbados National Oil Holding Company, which is an asset management company. And we have a division called the Marketing Division, which I'm burdened by the honor and honored by the burden of leading. And we are engaged in commercial activity, namely trading, marketing, and business development. Now, as a wholly owned subsidiary, or wholly owned company, our main task, like any company, is to maximize shareholder value, however you define that value. And we engage in the whole management of these portfolio of products, whether they're our own indigenous products that we explore and produce, or that we import for further distribution. And we also engage in market development, so we either, in either quadrant, we either developing the markets, we're penetrating markets or products, or we're developing products, especially when we're in the renewable energy space and looking for solutions in that space, or we are actually developing particular markets with existing products. And primarily, we're driven by generic strategies of cost leadership, because we were aimed, for example, in terms of the importation of refined products, our primary goal is to drive that import cost of product as low as we possibly can, notwithstanding what is happening in the global markets. So we engage in various procurement activities and bidding activities to really get the prices down. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, especially, I'm sure later on this afternoon we can engage our brothers and sisters from Kenya to see how best we can do more there and how they can help us. Now, a bit about our fossil products, or fuels, which we call our pillars, because that's what we built the company from. We have the Woodburn crude. We call it Woodburn because the Barbados National Oil Company is located a section to the south of the country called St. Philip, and there's an area called Woodburn, which is, where the head office is located, and the crude, primarily most of the oil fields were located in that area, so the name Woodburn associated with the crude that is actually explored in that area. Our numbers are down to about 200,000 barrels per year, but we are doing things to see how we could improve those numbers. And in terms of the gas, both the natural gas and the liquefied natural gas, combined we do about, in terms of output, 600 million cubic feet of gas annually. We also store jet fuel, and we import gasoline, motor gasoline, and diesel for the domestic market to a quantity of about 1.5 million barrels per annum. And in terms of heavy fuel oil, which is used, about 95% of this heavy fuel oil is used for power generation. The other portions are used in light industries and also in asphalt paving, road paving aspect of the business. We have an issue with storage, however, because we are limited. For example, if you look at our heavy fuel oil storage, we're limited to only 125,000 barrels of storage. Gasoline and diesel combined, we are limited to 150,000 barrels. So really, we're limited with respect to storage in terms of gaining any economy of scales. But that is something we really we are working on, and we hope to talk to our brothers and sisters about that a bit later and see how we can develop there. In terms of oil production, there are 247 oil wells scattered around Barbados in about 3 main locations in the country. The Woodburn area, we also have more centrally in St. Thomas, and we have more northerly going into the Scotland district area. But out of those 247 wells, only 137 are currently active. So we are currently engaged, and we've sent out some RFPs to invite partners, and this may be an opportunity also for our brothers in Kenya to assist us in terms of repurposing those wells and having secondary recovery programs. So we are engaged, or we are about to engage in production enhancement programs so that we can go back to those 90 wells that are currently dormant, for lack of a better expression, to see what we can get out of those wells again. Now, we talk about renewable energy focus, and we are very much aligned as a government entity to the national energy policy, which has a target in the year 2030 to become either 100% renewable state or at least a high degree of carbon neutrality. So we are pushing ahead, marching ahead, championing the cause for renewable energy exploitation. So we're very much aligned to that particular strategy or policy that is being enunciated by the government. So transitioning to the renewable energy space, we have already started, and we have, in terms of our theme and our focus, we believe in energy in every home, irrespective of the financial status of the particular homeowner. So we have particular programs where we target whether you're low income or whether you're more affluent. So we have the particular solutions and the particular packages and bundling of the solutions to really penetrate those particular markets. And we also have executed certain commercial projects ranging from 50 kilowatts to 1 megawatt. And then we have what we call utility scale projects, the much larger projects, which are 1 megawatt and above. And those are projects that we engage with. But we're also we recognize in terms of renewable energies, in terms of the solar technology, that on its own, you're not optimum. You really need storage. So we're also transitioning in the storage aspect, whether we're talking about lithium ions, that's top of the mind, but basically we are also contemplating hydrogen, which is a clean fuel, and we are also looking at technologies involving compressed air, geothermal technology, and so forth. So just to mention how we segment our markets, we have residential programs, which are, we categorize between 3 kilowatt to 20 kilowatt. We also have the commercial, which is between 50 kilowatts to 1 megawatt. And we also looking, as I mentioned before, residential hybrid, which involves some element of storage so that, give you that resilience both at night and also when we have issues of hurricane, or in situations where people don't want to be tied to the grid, they want to have off-grid solutions for whatever their particular contemplation, then we have those, particular solutions available. And of course, we are also very much into the agricultural component. We have a product in the agricultural sector whereby we recognize we have agro-solar systems that really combine, allow not only the harvesting of the energy, but also continuation of farming. So you have the panels at particular heights in the air to collect the actual energy from the sun, but also the farmers could do the cultivation of particular crops underneath these particular panels. Now, we also, as we transition, looking at cleaner fuels also. So we are looking at things like biofuels. There's a pilot project that we're going to be engaged in a matter of months. And we are looking combination of either manufacturing. We were looking firstly at importing the particular biodiesel product, for example, as one component. But we are now very much looking and contemplating the manufacturing of the biodiesel here in Barbados. And that really would be quite a bit of value added because it, as in terms of the employment, it contributes to employment and also skills transfer, so to speak. And just our final slide, as I said, I wanted to make it short, but to the point, in terms of how we want to collaborate with our brothers and sisters in Kenya. Certainly, on the fossil side, in terms of supply and purchase of refined products, as I said, we are limited in terms of storage, but we also we are trying to get some additional storage, but we really want to buy in larger quantities so that we can really effect economies of scale and really align with government's mandate to really reduce the particular import costs of fossil fuel. Because currently, given the level of world prices, our import bill is about $220 million annually. Now, you could imagine Brent crude oil is about hovering around high 60s or just south of 70, in the last few days. But you can imagine if Brent crude were to go to $100, you could imagine the impact. Then that $220 million could really translate into $325 million or thereabouts in terms, and that is high for a country of this nature. And we have been talking about onshore in terms of or on island in terms of the exploration and development and production of our hydrocarbons, but we also have fields offshore that we are actually intend to develop in the distant future, and we really would want to have a transfer of knowledge and skills and expertise to really help us in really building out and developing that aspect of our business. And I'm sure you have the expertise, there are lessons to be learned that you could share with us and exchange knowledge and skills and see how we can collaborate in that regard. And with respect to the renewable energy space, it's the same matter, because I saw the slides from our brother early on, in terms of the renewable energy space, and basically we also are looking at that transfer of skills that we talked about, and also certainly in terms of any economies of skills that can be gained in terms of if we were to purchase hardware together, whether in terms of panels, buying panels, sourcing from particular suppliers, and creating more a buyer's market as opposed to supplier's market. So whether it's racking, whether it's the inverters to convert the DC power into AC power, or panels, efficient panels, that's the kind of area we would want to further see how we can develop that with our brothers and sisters in Kenya. And with that, say thank you very much.
CS Betty Miner, Kenya delegation, delegation from Barbados, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. I think from a Safaricom perspective, and especially from an M-Pesa perspective, it's, let me say, this journey to being in Barbados started when your Prime Minister came to Kenya. And in particular, we hosted her at the Safaricom office, and she spent about 4 hours with the fintech community, engaging with us and the banks, understanding about digital services. And in addition, she crossed the road across and went to visit what we call the mom and pop shops across the road, and she wanted to see it in action. And she bought bananas for us using M-Pesa. So it was such a great experience that she said she wants to see it in the field. If I start with Safaricom in itself, we're about a 20-year-old company. We are listed in the stock exchange. We are valued at about $12 billion, a turnover of about $2.2 billion, and a profit of about $615 million last year. As of 31st of March this year. It is owned 35% by government, the Vodacom Group, and the shareholders in the stock exchange. But I think the story is not in the numbers. I think the story for Safaricom begins by its purpose. We are a purpose-led company, and this is what our purpose is: to transform lives. And this is the heart of our DNA. I remember one time doing a project for M-Pesa, and I signed off a $21 million project without a business case. And I was called by the Vodafone Group CEO, Nick Reed, to explain that. But we explained it and said, we believe this is something that will transform the lives of Kenyans. And indeed, our product became one of the most successful products that we've ever launched, which is contextual overdraft, dubbed Fuliza in Kenya today. We transform lives by leveraging on technology and a deep understanding of our customers. And we believe that we connect customers and businesses to opportunities. And we strongly believe that if the society is successful, then Safaricom and M-Pesa will be successful. Today, last week, we actually launched our sustainability report, and M-Pesa contributes 5% of the GDP of the country. It also employs 500,000 people directly and over 1 million people indirectly. So you can see the impact on what mobile money and digital financial services can do to a country. So M-Pesa started 14 years ago, and I think we can just play a video. So that just shows we moved from a simple send money home proposition to a payments, and now we're a lifestyle platform. And the governor this morning of Barbados talked about, he talked about the financial inclusion journey and saying, at least for Barbados, it's more than financial inclusion. But we've moved from 2007 at 23% financial inclusion in Kenya to over 85%. And it's now the third highest in terms of financial inclusion in Africa. We are now moving actually now to financial health, which is to enable our customers actually have savings products, wealth management products, insurance products that will actually cushion them from the shocks of that they experience in their lives. Today, we have over 50 million customers on M-Pesa. We're in seven countries. A lot of it, we talk about Kenya, but actually it's very successful in Mozambique, Tanzania, DRC, Lesotho, Ghana, Egypt, and looking forward to opportunities here in Barbados. I just want to talk a little bit about the role the regulator plays, and this is the central bank for us. I keep getting asked, are you regulated? Yes, we are regulated under the National Payment Systems Act. But I think it's the deep understanding of how we've worked with the regulator. The governor knows what we're going to launch 2 years from today. We engage with them from product development, testing, implementation, the outcomes. We review it with them together, course correction, We engage with them on anti-money laundering, KYC, cybersecurity, and new emerging threats that happen. And I think this is a great collaboration between government and ourselves, and the success cannot be attributed just to ourselves, but also to what the regulator does. We've talked about COVID, and while COVID has been has been an economic and health crisis for the digital financial services, it has been the biggest accelerant. We are where I would have been probably in 2023, 2024 today. The number of transactions have more than doubled. We've gone into new business areas, I think the opportunities that were talked about earlier, and we begin to see what M-Pesa can be used by government, by businesses in a very different light. We saw government give disbursements to the vulnerable in society through the system, with zero-rated transactions to cushion Kenyans, and this was replicated across most of the regulators across Africa. But now we are seeing how can we now move into the stage we call to rebuild the SMEs and the businesses, and more importantly, how do we reimagine the future? So today, on M-Pesa, we see ourselves as a two-sided network, and this is really critical. One is we look at how do we empower large enterprises, SMEs, and more importantly, micro SMEs. So we provide lots of products and services for the SME sector, and this is to enable them to make payments. So we believe it's not just a payments game, not just a collection game, but a payments game, and we provide them with relevant technologies that empower business. So our motto now is about empowering SMEs and empowering the ecosystem around SMEs. Today, customers pay an average of, let's say, about $7.5 billion on a monthly basis to businesses in Kenya alone. And that shows that as we embrace more cash-light society, what can we do more as an industry and as an ecosystem to enable the SMEs and empower them more? So on the other side, with regards to customers, we continue providing them with payment services, solutions that make their lives simpler. And what, for me today, is important is not just looking at what we do, but the technologies underneath it, in which we have now what we call broken them down into microservices to enable us export some of these technologies to different markets. So you do not have to take the whole M-Pesa ecosystem. As the governor had mentioned, we actually can take parts of the system and actually share with you, and whether it's a technology, whether it's knowledge, whether it's issues on cybersecurity, AML, we are ready and willing to assist with regard to this. Taking just a little bit through what happens in a day of a consumer. So, as I said, we move from a send money home proposition to a payments to actually now a lifestyle enabler. And if you look at Mariam's life there, from the time she wakes up in the morning, she can see all her bills, she can pay them, she can categorize them. She can get from a supermarket, an e-voucher in which you can go and receive from loyalty. She can get a loan. She can look at her Instagram page, what she wants, and pay for it. So it is more about looking at those touch points where cash is used, look at those touch points of somebody's lives and embedding them in it. The green part just shows some of the technologies that we use. So when it comes to businesses, for the first time in the country, a business can see their inflows, their outflows. They can pay B2B, they can pay salaries, they can sell airtime and get commissions. So we are looking a lot about empowerment and opening up ecosystem for the fintech community, for the banks, to provide relevant products and services that actually empower the SMEs. So I'll just play one. This is the product, video of a product that we launched. And this was taken from the deep understanding of how our customers operate. We realized that almost 50 billion Kenya shillings was being cancelled on a monthly basis due to insufficient funds. And we built, together with our partners, the first contextual overdraft product on a mobile phone. And we Googled when was the first overdraft done. I think it was in 1830-something by the Royal Bank of Scotland. and we're very proud to say on 5th of January 2019, through the regulator's approval, we launched the first contextual overdraft. And today, it does about 42 loans per second in terms of that, and roughly about $5 to $6 billion in lending within the ecosystem. I don't know what little video will play. Yeah, if not, then we will.
Fuliza is never stopping. It's knowing someone has your back. It's kusonga mbele no matter what. Just dial *234#. So you never have to let insufficient M-Pesa balance limit you.
Thank you. I think one of the key things that we also wanted to put on the table is regard to connectivity to financial institutions, and I think this is such a big enabler. So M-Pesa success is about the ecosystem, and our ecosystem of partners in the financial institutions play a critical role. We act as a channel for either moving money from M-Pesa to bank or bank to M-Pesa, but also enabling the banks and financial institutions to develop products and services on our rails. So we are no longer a closed system, we are a very open system. And the next bit about it is how we are enabling the fintech community by engaging and opening the platform and our APIs to the fintech community. So this is what I was mentioning in terms of our platform. Our platform is now an open platform, and today we have over 42,000 developers working on our platform on a monthly basis, which means there are 42,000 people trying to connect other businesses into our platform. And for us, is to ensure that they can connect safely, they can connect securely, and they can continue to engage other businesses. And that is how we are enabling the fintech community to leverage on our rails. And this is something that we think such kind of technology, should it be required here, we are ready to assist in how we can actually do it. I think one other thing is on international remittance. We have a big diaspora community in Africa, and what we see today is how do we connect them to send money home, but also in Africa there's also money leaving the continent. How do we enable e-commerce come into a big play? So that is also part of what we're also looking at in terms of the technology, because we've built it and we're looking at how can we leverage on it. These technologies are expensive to build, and for us is now opening it up and basically also sweating our assets to enable us get a return, but also export the technology. So with that, I would just say we are open and we want to be the largest fintech and digital ecosystem in Africa, but we are ready and willing to help support and exchange ideas from other technology, knowledge sharing, transfers in terms of when working with the regulator in areas that you think we can collaborate. For me, I'll be available today, this afternoon, and tomorrow afternoon outside, and very willing to share. And as the governor said, for sure, we will definitely be back in this country in a bigger delegation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cynthia Wandia, and I'd like to thank the Barbados team for an extremely warm welcome, literally and figuratively, to the beautiful country of Barbados. I have the pleasure today of introducing Quara, which promotes digital banking with a common interest. We give our credit union clients the freedom to view their accounts anywhere, anytime. So a bit about Quara. We're a global digital banking company that exclusively serves credit unions. We currently have 44 credit union clients and a little bit over 280 million Barbados dollars under management. We serve 66,000 members with 45 employees. But the numbers we're most proud of is that credit unions who use our platform grow their loans by 46% more than they did the year before they used our platform. And they grow their membership by 19% more than the global average of 6%. We have offices worldwide. Our global operational headquarters are in Nairobi, Kenya, with an R&D office in Berlin, Germany, and we recently opened a Manila office to serve the Southeast Asian market. We're also extremely excited to be looking into opening a local unit here in Barbados as well. A bit about our team. I'm the co-founder and CEO with an engineering background, as well as experience in the energy sector and capital markets. I'm joined by a co-founder and COO with a Dutch background, who's worked at PwC and the Amsterdam Business School. And Quara was born out of an initial investment from one of our founding investors, who has built and sold some of the largest fintech infrastructure companies in the world. We're backed by partners like MasterCard, Google, investors across Europe, Asia, and Africa. Now, Barbados and Kenya share a lot of things in common, but we also share a common financial institution, which is the credit union, or a SACCO, as we call them in Kenya. And a credit union is simply a financial institution that's owned by its clients. Barbados has 32 credit unions, 223,000 members, and with around a little over 2.8 billion Barbadian dollars in assets under management. But what's particularly fascinating is it has over 100% penetration of credit unions, which means that there are more members of credit unions than people. And that's due to the fact that a number of members are also dual members, so members of more than one credit union at a time. And one of the reasons we started Quara was because we noticed that while credit unions are essential in the global financial system, they often face unique challenges relative to banks and MFIs. One of them is that legacy IT systems are not fit for purpose for the specific aspects of a credit union. They're also quite CapEx heavy, which take away liquidity from lending to members, and vendor support can tend to be less than optimal. At the same time, members' needs are increasing. Younger members of the financial community interact with lifestyle apps like Instagram and TikTok, and they find a relatively broken experience when they try to interact with their credit union. The rise of digital lending also means that in some countries, it's actually easier to borrow than it is to start to save. At the same time, as credit unions increase their asset base, compliance needs increase as well, which means the requirements for real-time reporting, more audit trails, more analytics, and a higher degree of data accuracy. So that's where we come in. We provide a banking-grade platform at a member-friendly price. And what that means is that we match the functionality of a Temenos or an Oracle FlexCube or Fiserv while being fit for credit union purpose, subscription-based, so you can preserve your capital for lending, and open for integrations by APIs, which means a credit union can expand its capabilities without ever being locked up by its technology. And how did we do this? We licensed the Mambu core banking engine as a component to power a credit union-specific digital banking platform, which means all the operational workflows that are specific to a credit union are handled on our platform, while we utilize the Mambu engine for product configuration, which gives a credit union the same range of products as a global commercial bank, and an automated ledger, which allows for international accounting grade financial reporting. Just to introduce Mambu, Mambu is a Gartner-rated core banking engine that's powering fintechs and banks worldwide. About 38,000 types of financial products are available on the platform, and they serve about 47 million end customers. They've powered the likes of N26 and Time Bank, and we saw this as an opportunity to inject a global standard of banking configuration into the credit union space. And this has yielded an immense advantage to credit unions who are looking to rapidly grow. When it comes to automated transaction processing, that becomes possible with our admin platform, and members are able to enjoy real-time finance wherever they are. We offer credit unions 3 products: a core banking platform that modernizes the back office operations, enabling them to run a modern banking business. We then offer an online and mobile banking platform that allows members to transact from anywhere. And we offer an open API, which future-proofs the credit union, assuring them of an end-to-end solution by making it easy to integrate with third parties. Now, enough from us. Let's listen to what some of our clients had to say. One of our clients is the credit union for the bankers in Kenya. And we worked together to implement the Quora platform in place of Temenos T24. And what stood out after we had implemented was that they were looking, and they had continued to be looking for an efficient, secure, and fast platform for their credit union. And noted that we understand the unique nature of credit unions, and were willing to work with them hand in hand to make sure that they were successful. Some of the measured return on investment that we've seen on our platform includes reducing server costs by 100%, which can save up to $50,000 a year, decreasing downtime and the associated costs of lost business. Automated matching transactions means much less consulting fees in creating or running the reports at the end of the year. And the fact that a lot of the processes are automated allow the IT department to focus on the newer, more pressing issues on data security, as well as platform security. But we're also able to serve credit unions that are nascent, smaller credit unions, 250 to 1,000 members on our platform, who also are either locked out of automation due to cost, or are hesitant for automation due to the perceived intensity of an implementation process. And one of our more nascent credit unions said that they expected onboarding to be lengthy and time-intensive, but the efforts of our team made that transition seamless and effortless. And for a smaller credit union, the benefits are seen in being able to automate the members' needs as quickly as possible, or speeding up member registration, or allowing staff to work from wherever they are, which became incredibly apparent last year due to the restrictions of movement. Now, we can't speak about a banking platform without speaking about security, and we offer banking-grade security that's been trusted by financial institutions worldwide. Our platform is independently monitored and boasts 99.99% uptime. We're able to provide support real-time in less than 2 minutes, and our platform continues to pass select certifications that ensure the integrity and security of the platform. Implementation for a credit union ranges anywhere from 2 weeks to 8 weeks. Our team walks the journey with the credit union, online training for staff that's on demand, as well as automated data imports, make that migration process smooth. But we also have one free gift. For any credit union client that signs up in Barbados, we will include our member portal that will allow members to view their balances, download their statements, and apply for loans online. And this has been measured to increase member engagement, reduce support requests, as well as start that process of engaging younger, more digital native citizens. So join us. We are open to discuss potential pilot projects and look forward to working together as we deliver financial access to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, those were three phenomenal presentations by these powerful persons in business, yeah? And I really and truly, I'm ready to do business with Safaricom. I'm ready to do business with Kawa as well. Those products are mind-blowing, and we really look forward to them being present in Barbados and their offering being present in Barbados as well. So we're going to continue. They're going to have a number of meetings with various agencies. The credit unions are aligned for a meeting with CARA, and also we're having the other telecommunication companies to also connect with Safaricom. But we're really looking forward for some transformations to take place in our market space in a significant way. So right now, we're preparing for the signing of an MOU between the Barbados Chambers of Commerce and the Kenya's Chambers of Commerce. And at the same time, we would like to invite to the table, to the podium, to the stage as well, sorry, the Barbados Manufacturers Association and the Kenya Manufacturers Association, who will just give us a short 5-minute presentation, because we're trying to catch for time, so we can then go to lunch. We have some other activities after to follow. And those activities that will follow after, we have a team going out for a brief cruise, particularly the tourism people who are present can go on a cruise, and a few other persons who are doing business on the cruise. And tomorrow we have Sandy Lane booked for golf business at the golf course as well. So we're just going to allow our folks to come and prepare for the signing of this MOU. Thank you very much.
Fuliza is never stopping. It's knowing someone has your back. It's kusonga mbele no matter what. Just dial *234#. So you never have to let insufficient M-Pesa balance limit you.
The future of money is simple. Like
Good afternoon, everyone. And with protocols having been well established so much into the day, it is my distinct pleasure to be a part of this historic event. And on behalf of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I want to immediately pledge our commitment to building on the foundations that have been laid at the ministerial level. And we also want to commit our resources to the benefit of businesses both here in Barbados and Kenya. Just to give a little background on who we are as the Barbados Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce, we exist for the betterment of its members, for our members. We offer a range of value-added services and benefits to our diverse membership who we represent from all sectors of our economy. The Chamber's purpose is to help local businesses prosper and grow by facilitating a more enabling business environment in Barbados and the CARICOM region. Our goal is to be the top-of-mind source for local business information and to enhance the social development of Barbadian communities. To this end, we vigorously participate in policy development and implementation that enhances economic development for Barbados. Our mission is to be the trusted voice of the business community in Barbados as we seek to influence, through advocacy, the existing social, economic, and business environments in order to create sustainable economic progress for all Barbadians. We, therefore, pride ourselves on being the oldest private sector organization in Barbados. As the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the Commercial Hall as it was called initially, was founded back in 1825. Over the years, the Chamber has changed considerably in terms of its structure and leadership. But one thing remained the same, is its mandate to the Barbados business community. The theme of this UNCTAD 15 conference from inequality and vulnerability to prosperity to all speaks to who we are as the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber continues to provide members with focused leadership and a strong voice to promote the interests of the business community. We have stood the test of time, and we continue to influence the social, economic, and business environments in order to create sustainable progress for all parties. The Chamber quite recently fully supported and embraced an UNCTAD 15 side event for the establishment of a UN Global Compact local network here in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. And the Chamber aligns itself with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations Global Compact, which clearly defines the world we want, being applied to all nations and leaving no one behind. These goals outline a plan for achieving a better future for all, laying out a path to end extreme poverty, fight inequality and injustice, and protect our planet. And I deliberately refer to these developmental goals as I think they should be the ethos of this partnership between our two countries. The thought of leaving no one behind is one that military forces have embraced as they have recognized the moral building value of rescue. They found that pilots especially were more willing to fly into dangerous situations if they knew someone would try to rescue them if they crashed or were shot down. The alliances we seek to build through the various discussions, the events, and the MOUs that we have signed and will sign is about knowing that someone will be there to help. We will be there for each other. The Chamber recognizes that Barbados and Kenya do have a lot in common as we are both seeking to build strong relationships and build stronger, more resilient economies. Kenya is a promising market for Barbados, there's no doubt. Its strategic location and market-based economy has led Kenya to be regarded as the logistics, economic, financial, and commercial hub of East Africa. The port of Mombasa is the biggest and most important port in East Africa. The Nairobi Stock Exchange is the fourth largest in Africa by market capitalization. The country has a population of just about 50 million, with English and Swahili as the two official languages. Kenya's market size, importance as the economic, financial, and logistics hub of Eastern Africa lends itself to a business-friendly environment. Its legal system is based also mainly on English common law, and the fact that English is one of two of the official languages makes it a significant strategic partner for the private sector and Barbados in general. However, due to the limited trade which currently exists, and therefore limited familiarity, Barbadian businesses need to come up to date with what we have available, what you have available in Kenya. And therefore, this BCCI, BPSA, KEPSA, KNCCI partnership is critical to making our words more than ropes of sand. Today, we must seek to build on what we started back in August 2019. And I'm reminded of a song by Russ Taff. And the chorus and the last verse is, "You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Together we will work until he comes. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. As long as there is love, we will stand." And the last verse says, and the time is here, the time is now, to take a stand, to make a vow. I won't let go, you're not alone. Now and forever, we'll sing together. With this song in our hearts, brothers and sisters, let's forge ahead, holding hands. I want to say to you today that the MOU was signed sometime back in December of 2019. The MOU that was signed between ourselves and KEPSA, the Barbados Private Sector Association, the Barbados Chamber of Commerce, was signed based upon a framework to facilitate cooperation between KEPSA, the Chamber, and the Barbados Private Sector Association in the promotion of economic development between Kenya and Barbados. It was also built upon the Chamber and BPSA to support KEPSA's interests and facilitate agreed tasks that will include public relations, information sharing, and organization of trade meetings and events. But today, we are pleased to announce another historic moment. We will be formalizing relations with our Chamber counterparts in Kenya in the signing of an MOU with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The purpose of this MOU is, one, to establish the principles and basis for facilitating cooperation between the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and the Kenya Chamber of Commerce, and two, to advance the common interests of increasing, in a mutually beneficial manner, business relations between the members and stakeholders represented by both chambers. The MOU, as currently drafted, will automatically renew for successive periods of 3 years, unless, of course, either party notifies of intention to terminate 6 months prior to the expiry date. But more importantly, it also contains a review clause mandating that both parties are to review the progress made on achieving the objectives on a regular basis. In closing, the Barbados Chamber of Commerce looks forward to continued collaboration and cooperation with KEPSA in conjunction with the Barbados Private Sector Association and with the Kenya Chamber of Commerce and with all of Kenya at large for the benefits of all Barbadians and the benefit of all Kenyans and our economies. In fact, this afternoon, the Barbados Chamber of Commerce, in collaboration with the Barbados Private Sector Association, will be hosting a business roundtable discussion in partnership with KEPSA. And we invite you to come and listen and engage with some of our local companies in solar energy, technology, logistics, and communication. So all are invited. So ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and my sisters, I thank you.
Cabinet Secretary Betty Minor in absentia, government officials, Principal Secretary, and captains of industry, the Chamber President of Barbados, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the private sector. Today, I'm excited to be here in Barbados because it's my first time. Though I've traveled to other parts of the Caribbean, but I'm very excited today, particularly because I was part of the history that was made by Kenya Airways to have a direct flight all the way to Barbados through East Africa. And I believe this will be a milestone if both countries agree to have a direct flight to this beautiful country and to have a reciprocal also in our country. It is my distinct privilege to visit the beautiful nation of Barbados and join this business forum today. And I would like to thank His Excellency, the President, for extending this honorable invitation to the Kenyan private sector to join this business forum. Kenya and Barbados are members of the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States and have enjoyed a cordial trade relationship. The Business Forum is a manifestation of solidarity towards South-to-South cooperation for economic transformation. At a time when business are struggling to stay afloat and resilient post-pandemic, such collaboration provides unique opportunities to partner in supporting joint programs that can widen the scope of meaningful economic development to sustain livelihoods and develop enterprise. The forum also demonstrates government's goodwill to work together with the private sector as it provides a unique opportunity for bilateral public-private dialogue. It was an honor for Her Excellency, the Prime Minister of Barbados to visit Nairobi in December 2020 during the ACP Business Summit, which culminated into important recommendations on championing a collective roadmap for business development and more so in SME transformation and youth empowerment to achieve the goal and global sustainable development goals. Today's forum renews our impetus to improved bilateral economic relations to support businesses on both sides to trade with each other. The private sector plays a critical role in promoting the commercial and industrial interests of the local business community in their respective countries. An industrial interest of the local business community also with the counterparts. The Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry enjoy a robust cooperation with view to support their members expand market links. In this regard, we are delighted to cement our cooperation with Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry by signing a memorandum of understanding during this forum. Through this cooperation, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Barbados Chamber will respectively facilitate the Kenya and Barbados business community to network and exchange information and opportunities with view to generating new trade partnerships. The MOU will be followed by establishment of a joint business council that will steer its implementation and cooperation. Today and this morning, we had the governors actually exemplify 3 themes in which we must observe while we trade between our countries. And I remember the governor of Barbados talking of mobility, where we need to move ideas, be more innovative as the private sector. And I remember the governor of Kenya talking about connectivity. It has also been emphasized by the Safaricom representative and MD of M-Pesa about connecting city, connecting banks on financial inclusion. And also they went ahead on saying we must connect our countries and more so in health, where we can be able to establish telemedicine and also e-health. And I'm happy that Safaricom has started to see how the health sector can also be accommodated in this connectivity. Not forgetting sustainability as well, in terms of making sure that they service direct flights between the two countries and incentives that will make investors from both countries invest in either of the countries by making sure there's low cost of power and also incentives to give each investor at least citizenship or to make sure they have a 10-year visa so that they can be able to be part of the country's development. And also not forgetting tax holidays as well. We need also to look at policies to help reduce inequality, invest to make market-driven growth as well. We need to look at policies to correct failure of labor markets. We need to look at policies that are clear to develop the human and physical assets as well. Policies that will build a strong, resilient middle class. Today, Kenya is an important investment destination, regional manufacturing hub, and the most industrialized country in the East and Central African region. And I want to invite Barbados private sector also to the Great Lakes region, and I'm happy that top banks in our country are already present in these countries. They're present in Congo, in Tanzania, in Uganda, they're present in Burundi, and other parts of those 12 countries, including Safaricom that have already pitched into there. And therefore, I want to invite you as the chairman of the private sector of the 12 countries of the ICGLR Private Sector Forum. The country, Kenya, has huge potential for economic growth as it presents the following advantages, which some you've already had: a competitive and resilient economy with a vibrant business community, a skillful and competitive workforce, adequate physical and digital infrastructure, as well as reliable power supply, well-developed banking and financial sector that offers a vibrant capital market, ready market for fast-moving consumer goods, and government open policy for investment. Kenya presents a gateway to Africa in preparation for the trade under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. It is also a gateway of the Great Lakes region that I already spoke about, and not forgetting the IGAD 7-8 countries that also you can be able to get into through our country, Kenya. We need to look at development of effective training programs, and demand for skills is actually changing, and we have heard from our speakers who spoke before us, and experiential on-job training as well. So there's need to support vocational training centers, TVETs, so that we can also prepare the young ones for the already competitive markets. More effective use of tax policies, very important. Our country, Kenya, presents to the Caribbean opportunities in the following areas, to name but a few: agriculture and food processing, banking and financial services, manufacturing and transport and logistics, special economic zones, automobile assembling, mining and construction, water and sanitation, blue economy, tourism and hospitality, ICT and startups, PPPs, programs, energy and infrastructure, oil, gas, telecoms, among others. So our commitment to this partnership, and as Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we encourage investors from the Barbados and Caribbean to visit a beautiful country in Kenya for both business and tourism. The Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry embraced this initiative as a great step towards economic transformation for both countries and pledge our full support for a lasting cooperation. God bless Barbados, God bless Kenya, and God bless our two principals. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we soon coming to the end of this session. Just the last two presenters that will just give us about 5 minutes, and we'll go straight to lunch from here. Those of you who wish to go on the cruise for our B2B meeting, just let us know. You can identify yourself. The vehicle is there ready to take you. You'll be getting lunch on the catamaran. So you don't necessarily need to take lunch here, but just identify it at the front desk, or you can identify it in the app that was sent out to you. Okay, so just want to get a quick endorsement from the Barbados Manufacturers Association and also from the Kenya's Manufacturers Association. Thank you very much.
With all protocols observed, I want to take the time to wish my colleagues from my local colleagues, I want to take the time to express to them good evening. And I want to take the opportunity in particular to welcome my colleagues from the Kenyan delegation. It is really a pleasure to have you here. So I will start by giving a brief presentation about the Manufacturers Association to give you an idea of who we are and what we do. So my presentation overview, I'm going to look at who we are, where can you find us, our mandate, how do we execute our mandate in a manner that benefits our members, and how we are different from other business support organizations. And then I don't think we have enough time for questions and comments, but I would be willing to engage with you after this session. So who we are. In addition to being friends of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and a member of the Barbados Private Sector Association, the Barbados Manufacturers Association was really in existence from July 23rd, 1964. We provide institutional leadership for the manufacturing sector. We ensure that all issues affecting the sector are resolved. We create roadmaps to negotiate policy to ensure the future development of the sector. And we provide one-on-one counseling to our members in regards to matters relating to trade and policy. So as it pertains to where our relationship with the Kenyans fit in, we see us really as a support to the Barbados Private Sector Association in terms of how we can expand trade between our countries. So our membership consists of manufacturers and service providers linked to manufacturing. We also have associations with large membership. We have a board of management that has a strategic function in providing the vision and mission and goals of the organization, along with the execution of various duties. Our board consists of myself and 8 other members. And this is our mailing address, but I'm sure that we will be keeping in contact with each other through the BIDC and other associations. Where can you find us? We utilize the social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook. And I want to give you a better idea of our mandate. So we promote and encourage development of the manufacturing sector. We encourage and insist manufacturers to use efficient and modern methods of production. We promote and encourage adherence by manufacturers in Barbados to proper standards. We also encourage the use by consumers various marketing methods, etc. We secure markets for both the procurement of raw materials and finished products. How do we execute our mandate? So to promote and encourage the development of the manufacturing sector, we do this through partnerships and training with specialist organizations regionally, internationally, and nationally. And let me just pause to say the Barbados Manufacturers Association also is a gateway to the Caribbean Manufacturers Association, as we are cheering this newly established association. So I know the link that we're building here today with Kenya is between Barbados and Kenya, but this is also a gateway to the Caribbean manufacturers. And so we've not stayed stagnant over the years. We've been monitoring the trends. We've been looking at what is going on in the local and international economies, and we realized that we have to build a stronger e-commerce presence, and therefore we've established the BMA Marketplace, and soon you will be able to access our goods manufactured here in Barbados in Kenya via this mechanism. And this is just an idea of other areas that we work in. We work to promote and encourage adherence to proper standards, and recently we've had some developments as it pertains to plastics, et cetera, in the environment, in the local environment. So just to move along quickly, how we are different to other business support organizations. We are not state-owned. We provide specialist advice, and we provide advocacy and lobbying specific to the needs of the manufacturing sector. We also run a buy local campaign. So this is the exciting part. So we also run an international trade exhibition, BMETS. This year we are hosting it under the theme Resilience and Growth via Adaptation, and we believe that this is very timely in terms of what the private sector is going through, not only nationally but internationally, and the need to adapt to the current environment. I'm excited about this as it pertains to Kenyan relations, because next year we have a strong international focus as it pertains to the exhibition, and we will be working with our counterparts in the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry to ensure that we have a platform where Kenya and Barbados, could interact to promote trade and business opportunities for our members. So the dates for BMETS this year is October 29th to 31st, but we've already started doing some preliminary events, which you can view at bma.bb online since you're here in Barbados. We have some webinars. I'm sure that this would be of interest to you. And that brings me to the end of the presentation. I just want to thank the government of Barbados for the opportunity to dialogue with you, and I look forward to being in contact with you as we go through today and tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to you all. I have to make this presentation because the chairman and the CEO of Kenya Association of Manufacturers were unable to attend this meeting, and I am actually a past president of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers in 2012, and currently on the advisory committee of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, which as a past president becomes a lifelong advisory role in advisory capacity to the Association of Manufacturers. I must say that our Honourable Minister has had a long stint at the Kenya Association of Manufacturers. She was the CEO when I was chairman in 2012, and she spent over 10 years at the helm in transforming the Kenya Association of Manufacturers to what it is today. And prior to that, I was in a role of a director at KM for 16 years, so I'm very passionate and very connected with the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, which I spent a lot of time with. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers was founded in 1959. It's the oldest business member organization in Kenya. It's 62 years old, currently a member of the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, but it's got a very clear goal, and the goal is driving global competitiveness. One thing at KM we realized, either you're world-class or you're no-class, and if you really need to deliver a competitive product, you need to be driving global competitiveness, and that's what it's aspiring to do, and that's what it's done, with a very clear mission to promote competitive and sustainable local manufacturing. The vision is, of course, to be a world-class BMO and effectively delivering service to its members, very strong lobbying and advocacy arm, and with a goal to transform Kenya into a sustainable member-focused association delivering relevant quality, timely and effective services to its members. KAM has 6 values as key drivers of its corporate culture, and these are effectiveness, good governance, innovation, professionalism, responsiveness, and teamwork. The purpose of KAM is to create wealth for both corporate and individual levels by advocating for a competitive environment for business to operate, and thereby creating better industries, growing the economy, creating jobs, and hence resulting to a better standard of living for Kenya. KAM's contribution to the Kenyan economy used to be 14% when our economy had a GDP of about $50 billion. Right now, KAM's contribution to the GDP of Kenya is about 8%, but then again, I wouldn't call it a contraction because the size of the pie has grown and our manufacturing contribution to the Kenyan economy is unparalleled. So I thank you very much, and thank you for listening to me. I know it's been a long day, and it's time for lunch. So thank you, and as they say in Swahili, asanteni sana, and God bless you all.
Okay, thank you very much, the representative for the Kenyan Association for Manufacturers Association, and also our local Barbados Manufacturers Association. We want to thank you for your presentation. Amen. All right, so it is lunchtime, so we really want to thank everybody for remaining focused. We had a long window, but we tried to keep a short lunch because we're going to go into our breakout sessions. We have a 2 o'clock breakout sessions. We may just start just a little bit later with the Barbados Chambers of Commerce, Inc. They have a breakout session in that room. And plus there are other business meetings that must take place with respective persons. So we will just ask the presenters to just leave the stage first. Yeah? And then the first row, we can head out to lunch. Then the second row and the third row. After this room will be used for another sign-in. I believe our Prime Minister and the President of Kenya will be coming to this room to sign another MOU. So, and that'll be happening around 4:30. All right, so you have a few hours for your business-to-business meetings between 2 until 4:30. Okay, thank you very much. All right.